I want to welcome everybody. This is our Retail Owners Workshop. I am Jim Bolts. I am the president of the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber. The Retail Owners Workshop is part of a Tri-County Growth Collaborative that was formed to address issues facing small business owners in our community due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber, the Beaver County Chamber, Butler County Chamber, Butler County Tourism and Convention Bureau, Butler County Community Development Corporation, Cranberry Township, Job Corps, and the SBA Pittsburgh District Office joined this newly formed partnership with the goals to help small businesses. This is our, as I said before, our Retail Owners Workshop. This is the second in the series that we're presenting. Last week we had Elizabeth and John Craig share with us the KIND marketing method. And we do have a video of that, as we'll be videoing this too, available if you would like to see that. That is available. But today we are excited to have Joline Atkins and Cassie Brkich, founders of Underground Beaver, with us. They will share how one grassroots community organization pivoted in the wake of COVID-19 by switching from foot traffic to click traffic. Underground Beaver's original mission of bringing traffic to our local shops through community events enjoyed by hundreds of guests shifted to a collaborative online with experiences during this season of social distancing. Without further ado, let me introduce Joline and Cassie. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I just went through and muted you all just in case there's any background noise. If you need to talk, please unmute yourself. No offense. Thanks for joining us, you guys. We're really excited to have you. And we have an actual presentation, so I'll share my screen here. 1 second.
Hi, Ro.
I know, I see Ro. I love seeing our friends. Okay, let's see.
And hi, Cass. I haven't seen you in person.
Hey, Joe. I know, it's been a long, long time. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. Can you guys see that? I guess you can't answer me because I muted you.
Shoot a thumbs up reaction.
I muted you all. Thanks.
That reaction button and give us a clap or a thumbs up.
Awesome.
Be sure it's working.
Yeah, everybody hears us. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. We're really excited that you could be here today. We are Underground Beaver, and Joline's going to tell us a little bit about our backstory. But, you know, here's our mission: building community and invigorating the local business district of Beaver, PA. And we hope to do the same with you guys today. You know, we are just very enthusiastic people, and we hope that we don't overwhelm, but we spread a little enthusiasm and just show you, you know, kind of what's possible just with a little bit of going for it and not thinking about it. Okay, here we go.
That's true what she said, going for it and not thinking about it. I feel like we've made a business out of punting and it's paid off. But a lot of people ask us, what's all this Underground Beaver? What exactly is it? So basically Underground Beaver was started in 2018 by 4 local business women, and we just love small business and we love to shop local and we want our town to be unique and we want people to visit our unique town, and we wanted our town to have more activities for the community to engage in. And so we got together over a really delicious cheese board, and Underground Beaver was born. At the time, we wanted to remain anonymous. I'm not exactly sure why we were trying to be so sneaky. So we called ourselves Underground Beaver. Now, I'm giving you that secret. We haven't really shared that secret with anybody else. So keep that to yourself or we'll have to kill you. But we did realize that the name actually stuck and it really worked, because our whole goal, our whole mission was to let businesses take the applause for what we were doing and to be the stars. And so really we're underground, we're back of house, we're behind the scenes. And so that's how Underground Beaver started. And today, Cassie and I are continuing on that mantle while our other 2 original partners are running their own businesses, their own independent businesses. So that's a little bit about Underground Beaver. But what exactly do we do? What did Underground Beaver do? So pre-pandemic, you have to say that like 10 times fast. Pre-pandemic, what we did was we created town-wide in our business district strolling events that saw 150 to 300 guests once a month. And we would do that on, I can't even remember at this point if it was the first or second Saturday of every month, but we held one every month. And down below, you can see some of the swag that our ticket holders would receive. And many of these folks would collect these buttons. They'd put them on hats, they'd put them on shirts. It was really neat that they'd come from event to event to event. They wanted to collect, you know, kind of like collect all 4. Well, you could collect all 14, you know? Exactly. We had prizes for ticket holders at the end of the events where they would fill out a ballot, they'd vote for their favorite businesses, and then we draw winners. And all of our prizes, whether that be for the ticket holders or for the businesses themselves who were voted as best of this or best of that, we purchased from the local businesses. We wouldn't accept donations. And so we, the lovers of local shopping, would get to go shopping and buy prizes at our stores. I think those were some of our funnest days, you know, that we could just shop.
Prize shopping day.
It was amazing. We also supplied all the businesses with the items they needed for the event. So if they needed plates, or if they needed napkins, or tiny little forks for our cake eater walk that we had, if they needed anything like that, we foot the bill for it. Again, we bought local as much as humanly possible. And we also gave reimbursements to our participating businesses. Let's say we had 14 businesses participating. Based on the ticket numbers, we would give those businesses back a slight reimbursement, especially if they were serving food of some kind, or soup, or drinks, or whatever. We would also, this was another really fun, spontaneous thing that just kind of happened. Talk about punting. Before the events, we decided to go visit every single participating business to take marketing photos. And boy, oh boy, they hated taking photos. But they have since learned now that we're in the pandemic, that they better get their face out there on social media. But we would go around, we would take funny marketing photos, and we would tag the businesses. And that's an example off to the side that you can see. We are truly partners. We are collaborators with these businesses. In the day of events, we would go around, we would check in, make sure everyone was doing fine, see if they needed anything. And then post-event, we would always have a Tuesday breakfast meeting to debrief, talk about what worked, what needed to be improved, and what are we going to do next time. So that's a little bit about what we did before the world turned upside down.
And that sounds like a lot. But I don't want to sound too horn tooty over here, but we want to give you an example of, kind of what we did for the businesses and how we arranged it so that we could provide an event to them that they could be like, yep, I'm involved. And then everything else is taken care of at that point. One other note that we didn't actually add to our slide, but about 4 events, I think it was 4 events in, we actually did a calculation of how much money was pumped back into our business district just from us, and it was $5,000. So $5,000 went to our main street just from the money that we spent on supplies and prizes and all of those things, not to even count what our ticket holders spent the day that they were strolling around buying stuff that they, didn't know they needed.
Well, so you know what? Can I add one more thing to that? One of the challenges that we put out there for our ticket holders was called the receipt challenge. And if they were a part of the stroll, they could shop at any business, even if the business wasn't participating in our event. If they came back at the end of the event and showed us 5 receipts from shopping during our event, even if that was a cup of coffee, we would put them into a drawing to win a prize. So that was another way that we were encouraging them to support the local businesses during the event.
And the whole time we would always support the entire district, even if it was never a business that never supported us, I say supported us in that way, but, never participated. We included them in everything. We would tell them, go to this store, even if it wasn't someone on the crawls necessarily. Okay, then the world turned upside down, like Joline said. So,
so we had to pivot. With the pandemic threatening the local businesses, we had to pivot away from those traditional methods. Mm-hmm. And would you believe that our shutdown came on March
16th or something?
Our event was supposed to be on March 14th, right? Our Shamrock Stroll. So we felt it coming, and 2 days ahead of time, or 3 days ahead of time, we had to shut it down. Yeah. So the problem, obviously, was we were told to stay home. We could not have large events, and our events were large. I think we had 250 ticket holders
300 for Shamrock, 300.
100, okay. But then what did we see, like almost immediately, was that we saw businesses struggling more than ever. Like immediately their doors are shut. And it was difficult for them because many of our local businesses had a different comfort level in terms of running an online business or even using social media. And as much as we were trying to model for them how to use social media to get them out there, we now had to step in and go, do you see how important this is? And we will help you. They needed to begin using social media to their advantage. So not only did we have to pivot our own business, we had to continue helping the Main Street. And that's where we still are today.
Exactly. So here we are 11 weeks into the pandemic. We had noticed that, you know, we had built this brand for ourselves, and we had built this reputation where people are going to call us and ask for help, whether or not we have the answer. So we better figure it out as soon as possible. So we knew that collaboration was still really important. Working together, and, you know, even if it's just two businesses partnering, is still easier and way more effective than doing it alone. So we had to figure it out for them. So here's a couple of the ways. This is where we're, you know, like I said, we're getting a little horn tooty here, but we want to share these with you because they're all things that you guys can do. And our goal here is, you know, just to say, Joline and I are just Joline and I. We're not like, we don't have a master's degree in community planning or town organization or, you know, even marketing really. But we just did it because we knew that it was important and it was a passion of ours. So you just find a Joline and Cassie in your area. This could all happen. So here we go. Here is our first thing that we did. The first thing that we did was, and again, I mentioned Abby Baker's on the call. She helps with social media and just basically anything we throw her way. And she just, Abby's a godsend. Find yourself an Abby. So the first thing we did was create a list because, again, people were coming to us. I'm still open. I have delivery. I have curbside. And they had no outlet for that. So we created an online list. And this is what it looks like now. It's called Stay at Home Guide. Basically, it's the entire county area. It's not just Beaver, which, you know, is typically our audience. They sent us their information. We put them on this list. And then at the same time, Abby created all these great little graphics that we would post every day that would have, you know, the new 5 or 6 businesses that told us that they were doing something. So not only would we add them to that list, we would also create these little graphics. We had probably 6 to 8 of them in all. And going back to John's talk from last week, I think, you know, we're doing kind marketing without even knowing the name of it, I think, but I'm sure that he could still teach us a few things. But, you know, we put these out there and we didn't even know it was going to benefit us. So check out these numbers on these posts. You know, 5,000, 30,000, 11,000 people reached. And just to say, our audience is over 3,000. So it's probably about 3,400 people. And these are the numbers that we're getting on our posts because we're collaborating, because we're tagging other businesses, because people are knowing to come to us as like the go-to for these collaborative businesses. So this is the very first thing we did. Like I said, it included all of Beaver County. That was our first thing that kind of branched out past just Beaver, downtown Beaver. Number 2.
Well, secondly, it was important that we lead by example. So these are a couple of posts, and to use Cassie's phrase, we don't mean to be horn tooty, but we were already used to shopping local. You know, we heard the community shouting, shop local, shop local. And I honestly, to me, I was a little befuddled because what you see here is what we were already doing naturally as a family, and I think Cassie's family as well. So these are posts showing some of the things that we did to support the local businesses very early on in the pandemic. Ice cream from which flavor, which was delivered to the door. I had a huge coffee emergency and I called Cafe Kalachi and it got delivered to the door with my name on it and a heart. There was Don's Deli. There was even Alessa, who you see there. You see that sign in my front yard. She created these signs that when you paid for a sign, $10, the money went to essential workers. And I was like, get me one of those signs. And people have walked past my house and said, thank you for that sign, you know? So pretty cool. And then for those of you in Cranberry, we have taken out from Tamarind twice. My family is so taken with that place that's one of the businesses that we supported. And then we have a local supermarket here who is just killing it online every day saying what shipments are coming in and setting up, obviously social distancing measures in the store. But these are just a few examples of what we did. And I know, Cassie, I think you also bought client gifts.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I was able to do, I always order client gifts. I order them from a small business, but it's an online business and she's not local. And she sends this cute little launch package with like a confetti popper and our stationery and all this kind of stuff whenever we launch a website or a brand. And I was like, let's bring that super local. So I called up a lot of the places that were local here. And a lot of my clients found themselves with like 4 college students in the house that they didn't normally live there. So, I mean, one of the examples was, $80, I think I spent a Cafe Kolache sending kolaches up to my client and his, 4 grown children, because that, I was already spending it with a small business, but I wanted to spend it ultra local. Castle Toys, that third one in on the left, I ordered a puzzle online and 20 minutes later it was on my
did
porch.
a lot of puzzles.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't finish any puzzles.
We all found what our strengths were during this pandemic.
We did.
So, and I did the same thing with which flavor, the ice cream. I'm like, who doesn't want ice cream delivered to their porch?
Right.
So those are just a few of the ways.
A friend of mine had a baby throughout all of this, and she lives in a neighboring town. And so we sent over stuff from a neighboring town. And I really hope that this doesn't end, this kind of delivering things to friends and such. So anyway,
exactly.
Yes, forward.
Yeah. So then another thing, and of course I own a design group. So we do web and graphic design for local businesses. So there's a lot of overlap between obviously there's 100% overlap between our clients at Underground Beaver and the clients at Brkich Design Group, but there's a lot of overlap because we can provide design services for Underground Beaver at a very reasonable rate. So we started, these 2 on the left, we started with an online company just because we wanted to get up and running immediately. So within 2 hours, we had an online shop created, giving support to local businesses. So these ones say, I have a big heart for small businesses, and the ones on the left say in Beaver County, and the ones on the right say in Pittsburgh. And then we created one with a heart that says, I have a big heart for small business. And everything there was going to go to a campaign to benefit our Underground Beaver efforts. So basically, and we're very transparent with our funding too. So we made $500 on that online campaign. Underground Beaver took that $500 and matched it with the next thing we're going to share with you guys on the next slide. And then during all of that, I had reached out to the local t-shirt place and said, I definitely want to work with you. I just needed to get this up and running. So we started a second collaboration, the one on the right that says hometown collaboration. And those are 2 brand new designs. The one says resilience and has like a business outline. And the other one says all together now for Pennsylvania. And so we're doing another one with them. And so far we've made $250 with that. So all of that money that we make, we are able to funnel back into our main street. And as Joline mentioned earlier, we had to pivot our own business. We were making money off of our events so that we didn't have to tax the business owner. So we didn't have to ask for donations or anything from them. So we actually found ourselves need to make some money too. We don't have any funding if we're not having any events. So these are just one of the ways where we are able to fund this money back into the campaigns that we want to run in the main street. So with this next one, the local partnership with Beeftown, we're going to keep, trying to raise this up a little higher. And our next goal is to create a video to celebrate the downtown business district. Okay, so here is our favorite. Here's our cooped up contest, and this is again, Abby. Thank you so much for doing all of the social media posts for us. But this is something that we started running. We have this great list of all of the businesses in our downtown area, and we just kept growing the list and making sure everybody was on it. And we contacted everyone on that list and said, we want to buy a gift card from you. We want to have a contest, that we give away and fund money back into the local business district. And we wanted to focus on people that were mostly open. We had a few that weren't open at the time, but most of them were open during the pandemic. So all in all, we had 51 gift cards over 26 days. We highlighted 2 businesses every day. And again, these are some of the reach we got. It was a little lower because how if you post too much, sometimes your numbers go down. We were posting a lot during those 26 days. So I think our numbers are a little less than they normally are. But then you'll see with the little blue arrow there, we started getting sponsorships. We didn't even ask for the money, and people started sending us checks to help support what we're doing. So, so that was great. We had a few sponsors. We had the money from the t-shirt campaign, and then we had the match that Underground Beaver took out of, our business funds. So 51 gift cards, 26 days. And then we asked everyone to engage. So I'll show you some of those numbers on this next slide here. Like I said, 51 gift cards purchased. So $1,275 channeled back into our Beaver businesses. We had 5,213 likes and loves on Facebook and Instagram. And then our Beaver businesses, this is the important one, gained more than 5,500 followers during that contest. So we asked everybody to please like the either the sponsor and the business that they're entering to win. Joline created some really cute questions. Joe, can you think of any of them?
Yeah, I think one of my favorites. So they had to answer a question every single day. So they couldn't just like our post and then like the business post. They literally had to comment, and that's how we chose the winner through a randomizer.
And I'll jump in, Joline, because a second part of our mission, if you guys remember, is to build community. So we created these questions that people would comment on and talk to each other, and it was real fun.
So, a couple of the questions were, if you were on a reality show, whether one that's out there or one you would create, what would the name of that show be? Are you wearing pants today?
How many rolls of toilet paper?
Yeah, how many rolls of toilet paper in your house? So, honestly, that was so much fun for me to just create questions, and I tried to make them as wacky and fun as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So we just, like I said, we built community. We had some great numbers on our pages. On our posts, as you saw on the last slide, and we just built that engagement and that excitement as much as you can online. Okay, and here's the second rung of our ideas here. Go ahead, Joe.
So one of the things I mentioned earlier when you saw the social media post of us shopping locally, and there's our friend Kristen, our dear friend Kristen of Don's Deli, but shopping locally and having people deliver, and I hoped that would not change. And we don't think that it has to change, to be quite honest. We really believe that some of the things that our businesses are doing right now could compete and actually do beat Amazon. Amazon charges for gift wrapping, and it's not even that great of a gift wrapping, but we have places like Castle Toys that will wrap the gift for you, and then they'll even deliver within a certain area. Obviously, all of these restaurants have had curbside pickup, or you could be enthusiastically delivered like Kristen is doing there. We have places that are beginning to consider shop by appointment, and these are all businesses that by doing so, you see them as a trusted source. And so especially now, they've been doing all these things beginning with the pandemic, but we really believe that these particular activities could be continued going forward. For example, Generations, which is a wonderful shop in our town, delivered a baby gift to a new baby, and there was a text arrangement to make that happen. So that's very personal service. That is a trusted source. Cafe Kolache had delivery zones. So every day there were different delivery zones where they would go and deliver. So these are ways that we can compete with Amazon, especially as everyone is really beating that drum right now to support local. These are all really creative ways that our business is engaged with the community. And we hope that they continue going on in the future. So, but
Definitely.
Cassie, you mentioned, we were talking yesterday, we have a very walkable downtown. So how would that change within an area that is a little bit more spread out? So
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And I think that it does go back to collaboration, and this group specifically was talking about, potentially drivers that would support helping a couple businesses deliver on the same day, basically. So I think that there's a lot of ways you can collaborate, and a lot of our events, which we'll talk about on the next slide, a lot of our events we think can be either drivable or in a walkable area.
Yeah, our Underground Beavers mission is half collaborative marketing and half community building. These are just 3 examples of our larger events that we believe they could be duplicated now. Obviously with some recalibration, a little bit of change. Picnic in the Park, for example. We had 4 businesses, and we had these beautiful little picnic boxes, and people would come, they were filled with food from several different businesses, and then they spread out in the park. But this could be done now. For example, at Graham Park or North Park, maybe you set up a system where each park equals a certain restaurant. So if you decide you're going to go to Graham Park, you get something from, I'm just going to pull out Tamarind again because I love Tamarind, and Or if you're going to go to North Park, your picnic basket has a different restaurant packed, the food packed inside. So that's something that could be done going into the summer. Cookie walk was something where, this is nothing new, right? I mean, there's a lot of areas in Pittsburgh that have cookie walk. But what if the businesses now could partner with a local baker, which makes it very easy on the business owner. The cookies could be prepackaged, and then there could be almost like a drivable map where you can go, hop into the business, grab your cookie. Some of the things that we did to make our cookie walk a little bit different is, obviously everyone that went in, they got a little sample, but they also got a box full of cookies. And we also made them, we had a local company, make a steel cut Christmas ornament, because this was in December. So that was kind of fun. We had recipe cards made up. We had mistletoe challenges throughout the town where they had to take a picture of themselves under the mistletoe. They had to find 4 and then tag themselves. But that's how we did it pre-pandemic. How could we pivot and partner and collaborate a baker and a business to do it now? We think prepackaged cookies, a little drivable map.
Staggered start times, maybe staggered start places.
Yeah, staggered start, because you can't have everyone coming in at once, but that can be an idea. And then Artists in Action was amazing. We partnered with local artists. We paired a local artist with a local business where they showed their art, showed how they made their art, maybe even had an activity for everyone to try. And then we did donations. So people would donate to the artist, and then that money was funneled into getting an art cart, a fully stocked art cart for our local library. So you could do a little, auto artist something, right? Where they could drive around, again, staggered start, and do a little art stop at businesses. So collaboration, making things a little bit more smaller rather than large group activities. But these are 3 we think you could duplicate.
And I think, if you're partnering with people, a lot of our businesses, especially Cookie Walk, we have a soup crawl. Those are businesses that want to get their name out there. They want to partner with the Beaver business or someone that's already established so they can get their name out there. So it's not as taxing on the Beaver business owner. And it allows a new business to get their foot in the door, which is really cool. Then we have some smaller scale ideas. And now, again, these are things that have all been done. We have ideas that have not been done yet, but these are all ones that have been done. I'm going to share the picture as well. So the first one was a breakfast and activity. 2 businesses here. One was like a gift shop, and they do like painting projects and things like that. They have a lot of craft projects where they partnered, and you got breakfast and a craft on a Saturday morning. So, and it's, more of an adult craft. There's like wood kits and things like that were really cool. And then we've got 2 examples of a product feature. And I don't know if the olive oil shop is on this call, but we have a local olive oil shop as well. And a lot of the restaurants in Beaver use the olive oil, and they'll promote it. They'll either be on the menu or a little tag on the coffee bar or wherever it is. And then same thing with Generations and Cafe Kolache. Generations carries like a line of spicy jams, and they made a spicy jam kolache. So again, total collaboration. You could buy the jar of jam at Generations, and they promoted back and forth, which was very cool. A few years ago, this Mommy and Me one's a little bit of an old idea, but it worked out really great. And it was a Mother's Day gift where the local toy store, Castle Toys, had a craft and, craft table set up for mommy and child. And then Cafe Kolache had tea party set up. So you could go and do a tea party at Cafe Kolache, and then you could go do a craft at the toy store, or vice versa. Some people started with craft. And so that's another way you can thin out the crowds. So that was a really cool event. And then shared delivery. Don's Deli partnered with McLaughlin's Whiskey. So I wish that in that little bag that Kristen was holding definitely had a bottle of whiskey, because I ordered that day from Kristen a pound of turkey, a pound of cheese, and a bottle of whiskey. So that was great. And then Cafe Kolache, that's what this graphic is here. They actually partnered with a competitor, another coffee shop in a different town, just 10 minutes down the road, and they shared delivery. So on one day during the week, the coffee shop would collaborate with our local coffee shop, and they would deliver both to their house, which, I mean, if that's not collaboration, I don't know what is, because they're direct competitors.
They win the prize.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So So all that to say, these are just some ideas that we saw out there that, you know, I think could be easily duplicated, and we just love to talk about these ideas. So if you need us, please, please holler. So yeah, this is our fun saying, just do it. Then you think about it later. We love the, you know, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
We haven't asked for permission very much. We're like,
No.
oh, what?
But we have a really good relationship with our local borough, and they're very supportive. So yeah, they've learned to trust us, and that's really awesome. So here's some of the ideas that we have cooking. Steal them, use them, and we have a highlight of one other that we saw going out there. So we had an idea of doing an online shopping event, and then we saw another business that was actually doing it. So this Rome Inspirations graphic here, they did an online shopping event on a Friday night, and I believe they've done it twice now, where it was a sip, I think it was called Sip and Shopping Party. So it was, you know, geared toward women. They all had, you could see her bottle of wine right there. She has a bottle of wine. They drank the whole time. And I don't know what their behind the scenes numbers are, but look at these comments, 338 comments, 6 shares, and 1,400 views. That's amazing. And these comments, I was telling Joline, were people ordering stuff. If you ordered something, they had, you know, do you want this water bottle? This is number 1. Tell me if you want it in blue or pink in the comments. And people were ordering. So that wasn't just chatting. So maybe half of those, maybe a third of those are actual order comments. But I think that's amazing for a business that's completely closed during a pandemic.
They totally pivoted. I mean, definition of pivot, an example.
I love that. I think they did an amazing job. So we had an idea similar to that, where it was, you know, an interview style similar to this, where Joline and I would highlight some of the local shops' wares, where they wouldn't even have to do it, because we found as hard, you have to put your face out there. We 100% believe that the business owner needs to show their face, but it is hard for them. And a lot of them do not even like it when we come in to take their picture. So we would do it for them and highlight their products, and, you know, maybe interview them versus putting them on the spot the whole time. So I thought that would be a nice little, you know, compromise. And then we always wanted to do an online shop for Underground Beaver. You know, this is what you can buy in downtown Beaver, and have, you know, 10 to 20 products in our own shop, highlighting all of the shops in Beaver. So we thought that might be a really good time to do that now. So I believe we're going to start with the local t-shirt shop, Beavtown, the one that we partnered with, and show a few of her shop items in our shop, and partner with her in a way where we interview her, we write an article, we highlight her as a spotlight, and then include her items in our shop. So we're going to try that out, see how that goes. And if it works, then I would love to have, you know, 10 different shops, so that people could really get a taste of what Beaver PA has to offer. And then the other idea was, you know, themed nights. Like we've done a ladies' night out at the local consignment shop, but we thought a yoga studio date, a dinner, and apparel shopping. So it could be 3 businesses working together. You have to make an appointment. You can only have one group at each business at a time, you know, to kind of spread out, time to sanitize in between, those kind of things. But that's a really great way that you can collaborate in an evening. It's not taking away from your normal business hours. It's not taxing you too much. And, you know, someone else maybe like us we're organizing the event. We're dealing with the ticket holders. We're dealing with the people coming in and reservations. So they don't have to do that. They just have to open their doors. So those are some ideas here. And then we had, you know, like I said, with our online shop, we always, when we do our events, we are over the top with hospitality. When people come in, whether they like it or not, we're just very over the top. So I think we'd like to do that with our online shop too. Maybe local delivery for us. We thought, you know, you've been UB'd, leave a surprise on someone's porch and that kind of thing. And that is all we have. But like I said, we love brainstorming. We could do this all day with sharing our ideas. We would love to chat with you to kind of see how this applies to your business district or your area or your personal business. And we'd love to chat with you about it. So you can definitely feel free to reach out to us. Ta-da! That is it. And I think I have muted everyone. All right. Is there a way to do that quickly? I'll just do it one by one.
Participants.
I give up. Okay.
Click participants and then you can unmute.
Yep. There it is. Okay. Unmute all. All right. Hey guys. Do you guys have any questions for us?
I think there was one chat one.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. So, so there's, okay. Yes, the price is anywhere from 20. Well, let's start. The Artisan Action was a donation because it was a fundraiser. So I believe that was suggested donation was $10 up to $30. So it really depends on what the event is. Shamrock Stroll was one of the more expensive ones because there was beer and food, and there was swag and all this green stuff that people got to wear. So that was one of the more expensive ones.
Collaborated with local breweries on that.
Local breweries, yeah.
Collaboration.
Exactly. And we gave money back to everyone that's included. So that's why the ticket prices are a little higher. And then we do sell them online. We have our own website. Right now that page is down because we're not selling anything, but we do sell them online. Yes. Okay, the online shop, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, we haven't done that yet. So that's just an idea of what we wanted to do for our for our online shop. We just wanted to highlight what Beaver has to offer. So we really want it to be a really good taste of what our town has to offer, which is why we do our events that crawl in and out of the shops. So we would like to, yes, post the items on our shop, sell them from our page, send the orders to the local business for them to fulfill. And then, yeah, we just have a Squarespace site, which I'm a web developer and I would not normally promote that. But we just, again, we actually, when we are the partner of one of the other girls actually set that up. So we just, we can easily add things to our site, kind of quickly. So that's what we're going to try next. Dawn, did that answer your question?
It did answer my question. I love that idea. I'm just curious, like, I would love for someone to organize something like that for us local. It would be so helpful. And are you going to just like, will there be any information provided with it, or are you just posting the stuff?
Yes. So what we want to do is really highlight the business and the products they have to offer, rather than just like, oh, here's a book for sale. We want to say like, this is Carrie at Beeftown Teas. This is why she started her business. She's got 3 lovely kids at home. She has got this amazing design style. We want to really highlight her, interview her, whether it's video, audio, and then post the picture. So it's really like a spotlight on a business owner. And then I would think that, whatever the product is would have the same description as it does in her online shop, the pricing and all of that. And then the orders would go directly to her. But Dawn, that's kind of what we're trying to promote here, is that Joline and I have no special skills in this matter.
There's nothing that we do that
we're not special. But we're very excited.
Cassie really doesn't like to toot her horn.
I'm very bad at that. But I will say that, we were just really excited. We were shopping local. We wanted to teach other people how to do it and promote that within, kind of ingrain that within people, whether they like it or not. And so I think really, Dawn, the focus of our events is, and any of our collaborations, is how can we build an umbrella over these business owners so they can say, I'm in for, and it's the investment, say, might be, $50 because they have to buy some supplies, and then we not supplies, but if they're cooking something, they have to buy something and then we reimburse something. But their investment is, say, $50, and then they get 300 people in their store. So, I mean, those numbers are really good, right? So we want to partner with them so that we're supplying everything, because Dawn, just more than anyone, you're tapped out. Like, you can do what you can do to survive every day, and anything more seems really taxing. So if you can have someone plan an event and you can just insert yourself, that's way easier. So whether it's an online event, whether it's an online shop, whether it's an in-person event, I think that our goal is to get people to fit into the mold of our event without too much strain on their own business. And Ro is on this call, and she's one of our businesses. So Ro, feel free to pipe in if we've taxed you, or if you have anything to offer. Let me know if I'm lying.
I think.
But do you feel as a business owner that that you can insert, and Ro, just so everybody knows too, you can be involved in an event, you can skip the next one, you can be involved in the next one. There's no commitment. So tell me if I'm wrong, Ro, if it's, taxing or.
No, I think that, having that option is great, because sometimes some events may work with your business and your products, and then sometimes it may not, or you just might have a month where you're just involved in other things with your business. So it's not that you are pressured to be involved in every event, because no matter what, it does, always take a little planning and creating the product that you're going to give out to the people that come through. So I think that that is a nice option, but I do feel that you definitely see when you are participating, and even when you're not, you still, the town is filled with people. And so they are shopping, and you do get those customers. I know from my experience I have that I don't think I ever would have had. And now I've established a nice relationship with some of them. And I'm just a little business, or a small little, but I do like that those people, I don't need to have big crowds in my store because it just doesn't really work that way. But the people that I have that through your underground have been attracted to my store have come back now.
Nice.
And just on their own. And that's your success right there.
That's what we want to hear. And I mean, and the
That's right.
numbers, and Joline, I can't believe we didn't even include this, but the numbers that we get back from people, this is one of the events said it was their best day in business ever in 17 years.
Gosh, I can't believe we didn't share.
We didn't share any of these. We have testimonials out the wazoo. One of them was
had a 400% increase in sales on that day
from the previous Saturday.
Yeah.
Than the previous Saturday.
And one of them had doubled Small Business Saturday. I mean, these are the numbers that they're getting. And I think to Rose's point, it allows you to have personalized, touch with the people. So you have time, the people are strolling, you can actually meet the people and talk to them and get to know them, which is really cool. So I love that. And we've always promoted, we're not the kind of people that are like, oh, you're not participating, so you better shut your doors on that day. We always tell people, if you don't want to participate, put a balloon out because you're going to get the traffic. We don't care. Use our traffic. Like, we want to help our business district, not just the people that are participating with us. So.
And I think if you haven't participated, then you kind of see the results and then you kind of go, oh, I got to jump back in.
Maybe I should. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, Ro, like maybe February is bad for you. So you're like, I'm definitely in on that February event because February is slow, but then March isn't so bad. So maybe I'll take a month off. And Ro has a photography. She has an amazing photography eye, and she does gift cards and things like that. Really cool design stuff. So paper products and things like that. So maybe her store isn't great for all of the food items. So she'll do something that's a little less messy or things like that.
Great for the sweet stroll. You get the chocolate, you go get a card for Valentine's Day.
Yep.
There you go.
That's when I get my card every year.
That's right.
Do you guys have any other questions?
So I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to go back to your online shopping event.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, Dawn.
So I'm just so fascinated by this because to me, like, especially the way things are right now. So I'm wondering, when you did something like this, is it possible that it could be, I'm not familiar enough with Facebook Live, but I'm thinking, like, is it possible to do a Facebook Live where you toss it back and forth between businesses? And so it's almost like a QVC situation,
Yes.
but you pass back and forth between businesses and they kind of describe a product. And then the Foursquare or whatever, who's controlling all that and like taking the payments and stuff like that? Does that all come through your organization and then the businesses just pay you and deliver their own product, or how?
Yeah. So again, we haven't done this yet, but in theory, in our heads, it's made up.
I want all the details right now.
Even tell me what it is, even though it doesn't exist. But in theory, yes, we would take the money, we would pay the businesses, and they would fulfill the product because we want them to be able to put their own special touch. If they gift wrap or if they put a sticker on it, we want it to come from them so that they're getting the promotion and also so that it's easier for them to, ship their own product. And then we would pay them, of course. And of course, we don't charge our businesses, for most of the things that we do. So in my mind, it would probably be a percentage of sales, so that they don't have an investment if they don't sell anything. So I would say like maybe a percentage of each t-shirt or a percentage of each sale would go to Underground Beaver to help us fund our marketing efforts for the downtown. So that's what I'm thinking. But again, we haven't done it yet. But what I'm going to do, Dawn, I'm looking for
Let
right
me
now.
answer another question. In terms of the online shopping, the live experience, the Facebook Live experience, there's two ways you can go on Facebook. You can do a watch party, and if it's just one business, a watch party, which is what that Rome Inspirations business did. However, you can also, and Cassie and I have done this together, we went live at the same time, and there is some free software to do that. So, and you could potentially have 4 businesses going live at the same time, you know, and certainly like pitching it back to one another to do.
And what is that called? StreamYard?
SteamYard.
SteamYard.
It's free, but there's also a paid version, but it does allow you to go live with other businesses at the same time. I'm sure there's other ones out there.
So I just put in the chat the name, SteamYard is the name of the software that Joline and I use to stream in our own separate houses. And then I put the Facebook link for that Rome Inspirations live. Go watch it just for a few seconds. Now they're in the same physical space, but it's really cute the way they did it. It was just really personal. I just think they did a really good job. So watch a few seconds of that. Maybe that'll give you some ideas too.
I can chime in on the SteamYard.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I can chime in on SteamYard because I just found out that if you are doing more B2B business, you can apply on LinkedIn to go live, and SteamYard is the one that they prefer. They have a couple different options, but SteamYard is one of them.
I forgot you told me that, Beth. Yeah.
Yeah. So SteamYard you can use with YouTube Live, you can use with Facebook, and you can use with LinkedIn.
Nice.
And it also does a custom RMTP or something like that, where if you're using it on a different platform, you can have it customized to be able to use it for other applications as well.
Very cool.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? I will encourage you, if you guys have not listened to John and Elizabeth's retail series from last Friday, please go watch the tape. I'm sure, Beth, did I just steal did I just steal what you were going to say?
Yeah, no.
Because as he was talking
on YouTube.
Yeah, and as he was talking last week, I was like, yes, that's what we're doing. You know, I definitely got some tips, but I think it's all about, you know, and they talk about, you know, commenting on each other's posts and kind of creating an audience of people that are going to help each other. And that's kind of what we're doing as well. And I think that it's all about, you know, you can promote yourself by helping other people, which Underground Beaver, we were never looking for an audience, but of course the audience helps when you're trying to promote businesses, you need an audience. And our audience grew like that because we were helping other businesses and we were commenting on theirs and we were sharing their stuff and we were, you know, leading by example by sharing what we're buying on Facebook and things like that. And our audience grew because of it. So
and it's true. Like if I have an idea and you have an idea and we both share those ideas with each other, we both walk away with 2 ideas, you know, and that I feel like that is the heart of collaboration. It's sharing so that we both grow, right? I think, and I didn't realize this when we made the presentation, but I think one of the things you shared, Cassie, that I don't even think I realized was the collaboration between Kolache and Bifcat. 2 competing coffee shops worked together. Idea, share it. They both went off and did their thing. I think that is, it's beautiful, and I'm so impressed with them, and it's why they get a lot of my money.
It helps in Beaver County that people don't like to cross rivers, so they're not actual competitors because there's a river. So there's
just like downtown Pittsburgh.
Exactly. So you're not going to cross the river to go to either one. But no, I think that, yeah, that's absolutely right. And we encourage collaboration, even with our businesses downtown. If they don't get our mission, they typically don't work with us because we believe that you can lift up one business and lift up the whole town. So if we give our attention to Cafe Kolache, their audience is shared with the rest of the town. It's not like they get their coffee and they run out the door every time. They look around. So if one business is succeeding, it really does elevate the entire community. And the businesses that participate with us get that idea, you know.
Well, Joline and Cassie, thank you so much for sharing your mission with us today. I think everybody else now probably understands why we were so excited that you were willing to do this. We've heard so many great things about what you're doing, and it's very obvious in looking at your presentation that you've been very successful starting from like a grassroots type of a deal. So thank you for sharing this. Again, I want to remind everybody, this is an effort that was brought forth by the Tri-County Growth Collaborative. We plan on doing more of these sessions. The next one we plan to do is next week, but we haven't finalized the details yet. So just pay attention to social media. You can go onto our website for our chamber, and we'll have details there once we finalize those. But thank you all for being with us today. And again, Jolene and Cassie, thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Of course. And if anybody wants a presentation for any reason, we can share it with you. And I just put our email address in the chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
And once she downloads it, it'll be available on the YouTube channel, and we'll be emailing everybody that registered for today's event.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.